Hello everyone, this is Dallin, the trainer at Server Plus. Lately we've been receiving some repeated issues with technicians who seem a little confused on the meaning of DHCP, PPPoE, and static IP. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video to try to clarify these with you. I'm going to tell you guys about their purposes, how to set them up, what to look for in a router dashboard and computer, and just kind of general information about these connection types. So first up, let's talk about DHCP, because I think this one is the most common misunderstood connection type. So first of all, DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So let's actually break that down a little bit. Dynamic is another word for changing. Okay, so a host is someone or something that receives guests or information. Configuration is another word for arrangement, and protocol is defined as the official procedure or system of rules governing affairs of state or diplomatic occasions. However, in this situation, obviously, it's particularly referring to internet. So the host with DHCP follows a procedure of arrangement or assignment that is changing and automatic. So in other words, the IP address is automatically obtained, and it will change. Okay, so when looking to assign DHCP or check on DHCP settings, you want to look for either a DHCP setting, or more likely it'll be listed under the obtainment of an IP address. It's an Internet Protocol IP address. That's what IP stands for, Internet Protocol, and it's used to distinguish the host on the network. So there should be a setting that says something to the effect of an IP address will be automatically obtained. And that's what we're looking for. So right here, let me pull this up. We're going to go here into chasms. First of all, what I'm going to do is I really want you guys to get in the habit of Googling things. So we're going to show you how to set up DHCP on a Windows computer. So I will ask Google, how do I set up DHCP on a Windows 7 computer? So yeah, it just kind of took a little bit of digging around, and so now we figured this out right here. Right click on the local area connection and select properties. So let's see if it can give me some more information here. Right here on the Windows desktop, press the Windows plus X on the keyboard to open the power user window. I obviously won't be able to do that on on Chasms, but this will take you to network connections, and then you should see two types of network connections. So the other way to get there on Windows, let's see, Windows 7. The other way to get here is you can just click on their wireless tab here. If they're connecting with Ethernet, it'll just like a little computer with like a plug next to it. You can go here to the Network and Sharing Center. An alternate way to get there is to go here, and then you go Control Panel, Network and Internet, Network and Sharing Center. Okay, from here, this is where it gets a little tricky. The adapter is basically the types of components the computer has to connect to other devices. So if I go here to change adapter settings, which was located, I'll just go back real quick. It's located right here, okay, on the left. And this is the window you get in here. Now in this window, it's going to list all the different adapters that they have. You should see wireless, local connection. Now if you look at this one, we'll get back to this in a second, but I just want to point this out. This one is a broadband connection for PPPoE. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but for right now, you're just going to select the connection type that they're using. You're going to right click on it, which will pull open this, and go to Properties. Now, as you know, we deal primarily with IPv4. IPv6 is mainly used on the wide area network, not really used on a local network. So we're going to configure their IPv4 settings, because that's what we're dealing with, is their local connection with from their devices to the router, or their devices to the radio. So we'll go here to Internet Protocol version 4. We'll go to Properties, and then right here it says obtain an IP address automatically. So that's the automatic attainment of an IP address. In other words, that is DHCP. Okay. And then also right here we have an option that says use the following. Basically, there is static IP addresses that we can set. A static IP is pretty much the opposite of DHCP. Where DHCP, the IP address will be obtained automatically or dynamically. Instead, a static IP must be manually obtained. Additionally, a dynamic IP address is a changing IP address, so a static IP address is non-changing, hence the word static. Alright, so if we click on this right here, that'll be static. And that's how you do it on a Windows computer. Alternatively, I want to show you guys how to do that on a Mac computer. Now, I honestly don't know how to do it, so we're going to go through this together. I'm going to Google it just like we were supposed to do. So, how do I configure configure DHCP on a Mac computer. So it says first launch system preferences and then choose network. So this is something we can do in Chasm. So system preferences right here. As you guys should already know, the little Apple icon will pull open a link for system preferences. So system preferences, and then it says to go to network. So from here, we're going to network. And then it says select Ethernet from the adapters list on the left. I guess it doesn't really matter. Basically, just want to select the one that they're using. I'll select Ethernet. Actually, let's just leave it on Wi-Fi. And then set the configure IPv4 drop-down to use DHCP. So configure IPv4, create PPPoE service is what it's set to right now, which will ask you for a username and password. Again, we'll talk about PPPoE in a minute. But for right now, you can just go to using DHCP. Obviously, won't let me check on it because this is Chasm's. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for Mac. Mac is a little bit more user-friendly. So that's DHCP and additionally static. I can even go here. How do I configure static IP? It says right here how to set up static IP address. All right. And then last up, we have PPPoE. So PPPoE stands for point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. This is like saying that there is protocol to authenticate one point to another over an Ethernet connection. Okay. So when looking for PPPoE settings, you might get prompted with, does my internet connection require authentication? This is usually on like routers. It just really depends. For right now, I'm just going to show you how to set it up on a Windows computer. So you want to go back to the Network and Sharing Center. Again, we can go Control Panel, Network and Internet, Network and Sharing Center. And then from here, we want to go set up a new connection, okay? We're going to do connect to the internet, set up new connection anyways. No, I'll create a new connection, and next. And then right here, broadband PPPoE. We select this. Then the DTs are going to show you where to get the username and password to put in, and you can put that here, username, password, pretty straightforward. Hit connect. It's going to go through, and it'll get you all connected up. And that's PPPoE. What I want to do additionally really quick is I'm going to go ahead and connect up my computer to a router, and this router has a little bit of a different way to set up PPPoE, so bear with me one second. Now first and foremost, I want to draw your attention down here. As you can see, there's no internet access. The reason why is because my router is not connected up to the service, so it's not being provided internet. It's not connected to the wide area network. That's okay. You don't need to be connected to the internet to log into the router. So again, to access the router dashboards, we're going to do Windows R, CMD. We get open the command window. Inside here, we're going to type ipconfig, just like that. And this will pull open the default gateway. You guys should already know this stuff. So right here, the IP address, we're going to put the default gateway into the browser as you would when you log into a router. 192.168.1.1. Now it asks for authentication. I'm just going to look on the router and see what the authentication is. Let's see. Admin and password. Admin, password. And there we go. I'm logged in. So inside of a router, when you're looking for connection types, like mainly DHCP, static IP, and PPPoE, you want to look at the general internet settings. Okay, it's not going to be under like wireless settings, attached device. It won't be under any of this other stuff. It's going to be under main internet settings, or alternatively WAN settings. Okay, and this is one of the main things that a lot of people get confused, especially with PPPoE. If you see the prompt that asks, does my internet connection require an authentication? If you're looking to set up PPPoE, you want to select yes, my internet does require authentication. And now that I've pressed S, it comes up with another prompt that I can choose the type of authentication, and I can set it to PPPoE, and then I can put in the login and the password. Okay, again, the DTs are going to show you where to get the login and the password, but that's how you set that up on a router. Some routers are a little bit easier. Some routers, it'll have DHCP, static IP, and PPPoE all listed just in the drop-down window, and it won't ask you if your internet requires a login. But just keep that in mind, that's what you're looking for, okay? So you're looking for internet setup, internet settings, WAN settings, something to that effect. Inside of here, if you're looking to set up PPPoE, again, look for the question, does it require a login? If you don't see that, it's probably just going to have a drop-down window where you can select connection type you would like. Now, from here, if I am not going to be set up for PPPoE, if I'm going to be set up for like DHCP or static IP, I can choose that option here. So if I have get dynamically, as we know, dynamic is another word for changing, and automatic, so this is a dynamically obtained or automatically obtained IP address. This is DHCP right here. Or if I set up a manual non-changing IP address, I click on use static IP address. I'm going to use the DTs to figure out what I need to set that to, or possibly if I can't figure that out, ask a supervisor, right? And then from here, the DTs will show you, you put in the numbers, and you're good to go. All right. Usually when you set it for a static IP, a lot of people don't notice this, but when you set it to static, a lot of the times it automatically asks to put in manual DNS servers as well. Depending on the company, depending on the situation, you might want to set it up for their DNS servers, but you can always set it up for Google's, and that should work. So if you're not sure what to set it to, you can set it to Google's, or you can just click get automatically. All right. Again, we've had a lot of issues with people who don't understand or are not clear on the differences between these. So I'm just making this video to kind of clarify. Maybe we can help everybody out. Please let me know if this does help you. We can keep putting out videos like this in the future. If there's stuff like this that you're struggling with, please come talk to me. Come let me know. I'm sure that you understand this stuff because it's really important. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.